We've got a 2006 Hyundai Sonata with a 3.3 liter V6, and we've got the timing chain cover off, which if you're looking for videos on the timing chain replacement on a roughly 06 Hyundai Sonata, because you're dealing with timing chain tensioner issues, then this is proof that you can get it off without pulling the engine out. Some say you have to pull the engine out, and while that adds some convenience to cover removal and installation, it is not absolutely essential. Anyway, so we're looking at the timing chain tensioners. There's one here and there's one down here. This one right here is bad, and that's what is very common on these engines. What happens is it loses its ability to properly tension the chain, which causes a couple different things. On this particular vehicle, what we had going on was the vehicle would, after it would sit for half hour or so after running, all the tension in that little hydraulic piston assembly would be gone, and so when you'd start the engine up, you'd get a little bit of a rattle, and it would go away after a few seconds. Well, these things, as they get worse and worse, the rattle gets worse and worse and longer. Anyway, common enough issue, but I'm going to move this engine a little bit. You can see, as this engine rotates, that's the direction it would normally rotate if the engine was running. But watch that tensioner. See, you'll watch the little piston. See how it moves? Okay, shouldn't be doing that. The one down below is sitting pretty solid, pretty firm. But this one here is moved. Oh, did you see that? Okay, that should not happen. Now, when the engine's running and you've got oil pressure behind it, you're not going to get that happening, and unless the tensioner gets really bad, which sometimes they do. The chains can actually get sloppy enough that you can get some rattling on the timing chain cover that can cause problems. Anyway, this one is definitely bad. So that tensioner should not move that way. See, there it goes back out. Okay, that shouldn't happen. That's why this thing is rattling, because when you first start the engine up and there's no oil pressure behind that piston, the chain is just flopping around, causing noise. So, mid-2000s, 3.3 liter Hyundai V6s with timing chain noise issue. That is the problem. Now, depending on how many miles you have on the engine, you can get away with just replacing the tensioner assemblies. So you can pull this cover off and just replace those. This particular car has enough miles on it. We're going to go ahead and do the guides and the chains as well. Maybe we don't absolutely have to, but it's not a whole lot more in parts. Well, it's, maybe a couple $100 more in parts. However, considering the significant amount of labor to get back in here, we're going to go ahead and do everything, and then hopefully we'll never have to take the cover off of this engine, the timing chain cover off this engine again.